Hi, my name is Zerilli, and I'm going to teach you how to drive a stick today. First thing to know is to look at your shifter knob and to know how many gears are in here. In my car there's 6. If you come up here, you can see all the gears: reverse, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. The next thing to know is that your emergency brake, when I put it off, the car rolls. Because in a manual car, there's nothing stopping the car from going back or forward, so you have to have a brake on at all times. The next thing to know is that instead of having just a brake and gas in a manual car, there is also a clutch. So there's 3 pedals down here. Your left foot will go to the clutch, the right foot will go for the gas and brake. The final thing to look at is the RPMs to know when to shift. Whenever this gets to about 2.5 or 3, then you need to shift, which we'll talk about later in this video. Alright, so before we're going to start the car, we're just going to go through the gears real fast. So to first start out, you're going to have to put it in first gear. So you go up here into the top. And in a manual car, you have to always have your foot on the clutch if you're at a low speed. So to first start out, you have your foot on the clutch and the brake, and then to start out you release the brake and the clutch at the same time, and then while you're releasing the clutch you have to push in the gas simultaneously to make the car go. And we're just going to go through the gears and act like we're really driving the car. So first, second, third, so on. That part seems pretty easy. So now we're going to start the car. Unlike an automatic car, you have to have your foot on the clutch when you start the car, and you always have to have either the e-brake on or your foot on the brake to keep the car from rolling. So we're just going to start the car, start out right now. So I have my foot on the clutch and the brake right now, and then I'm going to put my foot on the gas and release the clutch and pushing the gas at the same time. Seems pretty easy, but not very many people can do it on their first try. You usually have to practice it multiple times before you can get it right. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let it go. Okay. And you should probably practice that before, many times before you actually go out on the road and kill yourself, because you can kill it if you don't push in the gas and release the clutch at the same time. You can do what's called killing it. We're going to kill it. If that happens, the car just shakes and just starts rolling. You mean to kill it. So you have to turn the car back on, put the clutch in, turn the car back on, start it up. So now we're going to go on to upshifting. So you're going to start out like usual, releasing the clutch and pushing the gas at the same time. And now you're going to realize that your RPMs are getting high, and you can hear the engine get really loud. So whenever the car is getting really loud like that, you need to shift, and you just go in simultaneous order from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, depending on what gear you're in. So just whenever you're shifting, you have to look at your RPMs, or you can just listen to your engine. And whenever your engine starts to roar, you need to switch gears. Typically people switch gears at 2.5 or 3. So I'm going to do it again. Second gear, it's 2.5, shift to 3. And oh my god, I'm going to shift to 4, so on and so forth. Alright, so now we're going to go over downshifting. So right now I'm in third gear, and now I'm going to go to second gear. You see how downshifting is. If you put it in a lower gear, then the car has more power to go faster. This is usually for if you want to pass somebody, or you're trying to race somebody, I guess, illegally. You can downshift to go faster. Downshifting is also used for turning. Say you're turning at 30 miles an hour, and you finally get to 20 miles an hour. you can usually, my rule is I usually shift down to second gear when I'm turning, because if you're in a lower gear and if you're in a high gear and you're like going at low speed, your car does not have enough power to like go. So right now I put it in 6th gear to show you, and my foot is all the way on the gas, like it's all the way down and we're not going anywhere. But if I put it in 2nd gear, you can see how fast the car picks up and how much power it has. So that's downshifting and the clip. Alright, so whenever you start it out, you can probably realize that your car either moves backward or forwards. Like I said before, nothing's stopping the car from moving backward or forward like in an automatic car. So right now my foot is releasing the gas. You can tell that I'm rolling backwards. So what happens if you're starting out on a hill? See how you move back move back while you're trying to start out, which is kind of hard. So this is like one of the hardest things to do in driving a manual. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to have my feet on the brake and clutch, but instead of just doing it like I normally do when I start out, I have to release the clutch and pushing the gas harder than I usually do. So we're going to release the clutch and pushing the gas harder and faster to get up this hill. And that's how you do hills. Alright, so in a reverse car, or in an automatic car, there's not like you have like this stick that just goes like to reverse, drive, neutral, and whatever. So first, second gear, or first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and you see your reverse over here. So you think you can just put it up here and go like that, but that's first gear. To get in reverse, usually in a clutch or a manual, you have to do like something. In my car, you have to lift this thing up and put it all the way to the left and over. Reversing is just like starting out in first gear, but reversing is a lot faster and it's a lot harder because it's more jumpier. So I'm just going to do how I start out. I'm going to put my foot on the clutch and brake and release the brake and put my foot on the gas and simultaneously push down the gas and clutch. So now I'm going to reverse. You can see reverse is pretty much the same thing, but yeah, it's much harder in my opinion than starting out on a regular surface because it is more jumpier and it's a lot trickier if you're not very good at it. So you probably need to practice reversing and starting out a lot, and starting out on hills before you go out and just drive. Alright, so to park a manual car is just like a normal car. You just put it where you want to be. But instead of just putting it in park, you have to either put it in first or you just put it in neutral. And then you have to pull the e-brake up so it doesn't go anywhere. See? If I release the brake, the car moves. So you have to pull the e-brake up and put it into first or manual.